Karoline Leavitt, spokeswoman for Make America Great Again, Inc., is here with us. She's also the former assistant press secretary under Trump administration and a Newsmax contributor. And, of course, Matt Schlapp, CPAC chairman, author of The Desecrators. Welcome into you both.
Thanks, Bianca.
Great to be here.
Great to have you. All right. And as we look live here, I think we have the image of President Joe Biden on the ground heading to stand in solidarity with those picket workers and the auto workers who basically are, saying his EVs, his push in this administration is causing part of the issue here. Matt, as you look at this campaigning, and you know Donald Trump will be there tomorrow, Joe Biden, I wonder, obviously a lot of this is about getting the endorsement again from the United Auto Workers, but clearly his administration is hurting them.
Yeah, this is great. I've been so enjoying watching the Trump campaign outmaneuver both his Republican opponents and Joe Biden. Joe Biden's going to Michigan because Donald Trump brilliantly said, hey, I'm going to go address these workers and these issues in Michigan. And here's the irony. Donald Trump's out of office. There's very little he can do to resolve this strike. Joe Biden's the president. There's a whole bunch he could do to resolve the strike. So he's on the defense here. And look, there's all these polls that you've gone through. I love to read them. I'm one of these geeks that reads a lot of these polls. And the independent vote is obviously always up for grabs. But the union vote, those people who work hard for a living, and we used to say go to church on Sundays, and go to work on Mondays and vote on Tuesdays. These are good Americans. And, a lot of times Republicans have chalked off union voters as always going to be reliably Democrat. But I think we've always gotten upwards to 40% of them. And I think with Trump running again, I think we could really win the union vote. I think there's a lot of union workers that look at that southern border, look at the attack on our Second Amendment rights, look at the attack on children and gender. And they wonder what happened to this Democratic Party that went woke and went commie and went so far left that they don't even recognize it.
You're right. And, Biden's poll numbers with Latinos, with black voters are also so low, Karoline. This is, to Trump's gain. And even the independent, as Matt just said, if there's independent voters out there, if they're hurting financially, they're going to be thinking not Biden again.
Yeah, Joe Biden is losing support amongst all Americans, even those within his own party. In fact, more than 70% of Democrats wish that they had another option other than Joe Biden running for the nomination. And it's because he hasn't stepped up for any Americans, Hispanic Americans, women, those with a college degree, those with a high school diploma, or the union workers. Let's be very clear. Those union workers have been forced to go on strike because Bidenomics has allowed record high inflation and their wages are not keeping up with that. And if you compare that contrast with the record of Donald Trump and what he did for the auto workers when he was in office, he renegotiated terrible trade deals that were ripping off these workers for years that Joe Biden long supported during his decades-long political career. Donald Trump created 450,000 manufacturing jobs in his first 30 months in office. Their wages were up, their pensions were up, inflation was down, and now they're really feeling the pinch because of the inflation, but also because of Biden's just horrific communist electric vehicle mandate that is going to send their labor over to China. And so we need to reelect President Trump for these auto workers and for all hardworking Americans that are suffering because of Bidenomics.
It's interesting, too. And it just comes down to, I think, heart and intention. And as you just, alluded to as well, Matt, is that Biden hadn't planned to do this. Trump said he was going going to give a speech, and that's the genuine, just like he went to East Palestine. And Joe Biden has still not gone there yet. But that's what I think, even if these people are out there and they're on the front lines and maybe they're more used to voting union, like you said, there is a shift now. And there is a shift across our nation and the issues that are happening. And it is kitchen table issues. And they're not even close to, they're far away. Like, this is not like the writers or that made their deal. This is a big strike. And there's really, I don't know how Joe Biden's going to try to, like you said, he's the president, try to get them to the table. Doesn't seem like they're anywhere close to making a deal.
Yeah, no, that's right. And the other thing is there's all this talk about Joe Biden. He can't get off the stage. It's not because he loves to hear himself speak. He literally physically can't seem to get off any of these stages. So I went on to X and I gave the advanced people some great advice. They should just put a big arrow either left or right on the podium under his speech, and then he'll know where to go. Don't you think that's a good idea?
Maybe. I mean, he has been seen with the handlers too, just like escorting him and walking him, because we don't want to obviously see him fall. But yeah, maybe, I don't know how big the X would have to be. Clearly, I think it maybe needs to be more than that. Great conversation. We were watching, of course, Michigan today and tomorrow. Very big stories happening. Matt, Karoline, appreciate you both.